Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Senstaku, as you might know me on Twitter, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us that people watch, listen to, and enjoy our shows. If you want to help us keep making these shows as fun and lively as they can be, please join your fellow fans in supporting us at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms or by subscribing to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/finalshowfilms. It really means a lot to us that the amount of you who do support us continue to do so, especially our $25 plus tier supporters on Patreon. Antitonic, Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Maureen Monty, and Bradley Alexander. Every little bit helps, so thank you to all of our patrons and subs. Check us out on Twitter at Final Show Films and on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com for updates, go-live notifications, and more. We love interacting with you, so feel free to tweet at us or email us at finalshowfilms@gmail.com. That being said, please relax and enjoy. We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Call of Cthulhu, the Esoteric Literature Club of Whitechapel. I am John, your keeper for the evening, and joining me today is Jeremy.
Hi, my name is Jeremy. I am playing Jahan Ramsey, a psychologist, Wiccan, magic user, and generally annoyed person as of late.
And Craig.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Dr. Harold Costley, a pensioner of London, and currently very much in denial about a lot of things.
And one of the only other two people that are in Roll20, Mara.
Hi! That was a nice...
I defy
nice
convention.
This is good. Anyway, hi, I'm Mara. I am playing Doris Foster Young, retired cult leader, and the cause of a lot of denial. It's great. It's great.
And the other of the now three of my four players that are in Roll20, Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am playing America, Kansas Freedom, who I promise was totally sane before the creature from between dimensions popped out. Outer associate in the room.
I thought you were calling Harold the creature from between dimensions.
Whoa!
No. I called Harold an associate.
And it was fun as we were doing the intro just to see first was Mara, then see Aaron's name pop in, then see Jeremy, then see Craig.
I call medical issues. I'm gonna pull that card.
It's fine.
I call I'm
before
never
they
in
happen.
Roll20 on time, and why should this game be any different?
I'm not mad at it. It was just amusing to me. Anyways, before we delve into the world of Call of Cthulhu, for all those watching and listening at home, understand that this is a world that thrives on horror, on the unsettling, on making you uncomfortable. So there may be themes and aspects of this story that are particularly unpleasant for some viewers, and in those cases it is a perfectly valid response to stop watching or listening if you feel you cannot. For those who remain, welcome to Call of Cthulhu. When last we left off, the group of you had finished gathering all the reagents necessary for crafting a dagger that would be able to puncture the anchor that holds the dimensional Shambler to this dimension, and hopefully send it away so it can no longer continue to latch on to all of you, drag you into the space between dimensions, where you get to listen to lovely radio programs while it slowly devours your time. When you remember it, because most of the time you don't remember it, but occasionally, Harold, you do. It had been determined that very likely the anchor to the anchor for the Shambler was very likely in the estate that you had all gone to for the estate sale at the beginning of this lovely adventure, back when you were all young, naive, and unaware of the things that lurk in the shadows just behind the door. Or it could be on a bookshelf at the Esoteric Literature Club. One of the two. And we had left off with the four of you deciding where you wanted to go first. If you wanted to head straight to the manor, or if you wanted to try to head back to the Whitechapel Hotel. and move into the domain of that which was once Reginald Caldwell to see if the anchor was there.
I reckon if there's a largely abandoned manor and something that's hanging out pretty central London, and the one that's less likely to cause mundane law breaking problems is breaking into an abandoned manor, which, yes, I do understand is against the law, but
I mean, we started off our day by plundering the tomb, so I don't think. Well, let's just say I think we're several leagues beyond where that might be a general concern. But I agree with you. I think that's probably the place that might draw down the least outside attention.
True.
so unless anyone has compelling reason why it's probably not there, not at the manor, let's start there.
No, I have no idea where it would be.
Right. We all recall, or at least some of us recall, having fairly strong reactions to that painting, and we know that that little yellow fella that none of us can remember the name of was also the claim to fame of the mansion's owner. So maybe trying to find our way back into that room where there were artistic supplies on display, as well as the hidden room with the painting.
Yes. It couldn't possibly be anything to do with. Isn't there an exhibit or something that I am vaguely recalling here in London?
Right. And
More of
Harold.
that?
Yeah, Harold will pull out his little notebook because I took one of we got a flyer or something for that, John.
No, you. It was the thing that you had found out was the location of the art studio that he had worked at.
Oh, okay, all right. Then Harold will pull that address out and share that.
But if this anchor is something we all had to, or at least one of us had to touch to spread to the rest of the group,
Right.
that
None of
maybe
us.
it's just a false.
I thought we didn't necessarily own it or have touched it or were it.
No, it was something that one of us came into contact with and then spread to the rest of the group, or multiple of us. We just don't know.
Right, but
How are we going
contact. To be fair, contact could mean contact does not necessarily mean physical contact.
Right.
It could just mean we were in the vicinity.
Right, but that would
It
still
could be an air transmitted curse.
that would still rule out the studio, because none of us have. Well, and Harold will stop and look around and say, "Have any of us taken an extracurricular trip?"
That I remember.
Unless it was when we were burglaring in yellow coats.
None of you have gone there, as far as you're aware.
Right, then.
Well, then let's head out there. If it ain't there, we can think about other possibilities.
How are we going to recognize it?
Well, you'll have to find out. The anchor won't be able to be damaged by anything other than this dagger. He says, twirling the dagger on one finger. So, if it's something you think might be of significance to whatever, try and stabbing it with something. And if you can't, and if it doesn't hurt it, it's probably that.
Oh, good. Mass vandalism. Wonderful.
Hypothetically, if this mansion were to burn down.
I made that suggestion last week.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that is not a bad plan.
As I said when that suggestion was raised previously, I can cover for a lot of things, but an entire mansion in the suburbs going up in flames is not one of them.
But everything in that house being broken is.
Well, at that point, it's burglary, not an arson.
Also,
it's abandoned. Most abandoned places don't report burglaries all that much.
Assuming the item is in there, once we burn the whole thing down, we would then have to be visibly sifting through the ashes to find what's left.
Yes.
Yeah, burnt buildings don't just collapse into a lovely, neat little pile of ashes. Not everything burns.
Well, ain't you fond of ruining all my dreams?
Well,
I mean, if you want to burn a house down, I'm certain there are some places in Scotland that'll let you do it for, a few quid.
Look, to my mind, it's never a bad thing to have a fallback plan.
So that's the fallback.
Right. Burning things. That's what Plan B stands
Alright.
for.
Mm.
Let's just hope it's not the butler and go to the house.
Well, if you try,
Yes.
if you think it's the butler, stab him, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, I'm sure that is such a burglary.
I think technically that would become a robbery.
I'm pretty sure that's assault.
Right. That's the
Armed robbery with intent. Yes.
right. Well, bodily harm is what makes it a robbery, as opposed to a theft or a burglary.
You burgle something if you're taking it from someone. It's a theft if you're taking it from a place, and it's robbery if you're harming someone in the process.
Correct.
Right, are we going now?
No, we got to break down the British criminal code a bit further.
Collins heads up to the car.
All right.
Harold pulls out a whiteboard.
From nowhere, everyone take insanity damage. Cartoon physics
Wait,
exists
seriously?
in Call of... No,
Because
I'm
I think
playing.
I'm dead.
No, I'm playing.
Okay.
Cartoon physics does exist in Call of Cthulhu, which just causes sanity damage.
Well, in the very realistic and not cartoony, but definitely still talking to me in my head gun case, I have my guns. It is locked and everything is safely stored, but I am assuming we're all taking the same car, so I'm just bringing that.
Your gun is currently describing all the ways it can kill somebody in this like gravelly John Wayne voice.
Which gun?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm imagining that because there's two guns, there's two gravelly John Wayne
no,
voices.
they both have the exact same gravelly John Wayne voice, but,
but
they're
slightly
describing
different descriptors
Exactly.
because one of them is a
Or
different range. Yeah.
Or they're both
okay,
they're both
cool.
they're both
Great.
Rooster
I'm
Cogburn.
doing fine. I don't need help.
They're both Rooster Cogburn, but one is the John Wayne Rooster Cogburn, and
yeah.
the other one is the Jeff Bridges Rooster Cogburn.
Heading up.
So one of them's a good Rooster Cogburn, and one of them's a John Wayne Rooster Cogburn.
Yep, I agree with you on that one.
I grab my hat pin and surreptitiously attempt to scratch the brick that I have, just in case. I didn't check that yet.
All right. You
Just wanted to
scratch.
check.
You scratch the brick.
Does it?
Your hat pin is not quite sharp enough to scratch a solid, flat, smooth brick.
Okay. I take my knife out and try that instead.
Give me a luck roll.
Okay.
Can any of the rest of us see this, or are you doing this privately?
It's being done surreptitiously.
Okay.
Surreptitiously.
Just so I'm clear.
A
Anyone have stops we're making along the way?
a small white line scratches across the brick as you cut it as you hit it with a.
Okay, so it can be damaged.
Yes.
That's all I needed to do. Thank you.
Nothing for me, I don't think.
Well, do we have a first aid kits? Do we need monsters?
I have a
I
medical
have
bag.
mine.
A lot of monsters.
Looking at the actual doctor.
Yeah.
I got mine. It's still basically fully stocked. I'm missing. I'll enumerate the few things that have been used, but it's like not that much.
At the
Hey.
At the mention of monsters from up the stairs, you hear Collins calling, "Don't worry about it, Doris. You won't be able to kill the Shambler with weapons anyways."
Yeah, but we might fall through the literal stairs that are not metaphorical because they are breaking.
Yeah. Harold just raises his doctor's bag.
Right.
I like that John Collins doesn't help. Like, it just like, don't don't worry, you can't kill it anyways.
Does everyone have something they can try and damage stuff with?
Yes.
My mind.
I thought I gave you a pocket knife.
Well, that too, but specifically since we now probably kind of assumed it. I assume most of us assumed it, but now since we know for sure we aren't just going to stab a Shambler to death, I also have magic things that might be able to help.
And John, as you mentioned magic things that might be able to help, there's this tickling sensation in your brain.
Stop that.
That has a directionality pointing towards that book you threw away.
It's a long way away. I don't even remember where it is.
You just like sort of you just yeeted it down.
Yeah, that's right. Nope.
All right. I'm assuming I heard most of that conversation and heading up the stairs.
All right. So you all convene with John Collins, get into his car, and he begins driving.
Yep.
The fog that has been haunting you throughout London continues to follow you, though not getting as close as it had previously. Not so much that it's hindering any vision, but that it's still there. While driving, Collins just sort of looks around, looks back at Doris. You definitely have a really angry ghost after you. You know that, right? Just want to make sure that's clear and understood.
Thank you. Yes, I do realize.
Because it's just blanketing this whole city in fog, and that's really angry.
Can I ask a clarification question about ghosts?
Sure.
So you said it's probably like one person taking forms that are recognizable. Is it possible it's more than one, or is it probably just one that knows a lot about other things?
Well, it can be one. Typically, it's only one. The ghosts aren't this sort of thing that share, but it could absolutely be more than one. I mean, it could be all of them. There could have not been a single one taking other forms. It's probably just one taking multiple forms, but it's possible.
All right, just want to know the odds.
Another question while we're on the way. And about to be testing things by damaging them. Just to eliminate the potential option, is there any chance that perhaps knowing that this thing might be sought out in this manner, there could be some sort of, I don't know, glamour illusion of some sort put on it where it will react to being damaged in such a way?
No, you can't enchant the anchor. You could enchant things around it, but you could hide it underneath an illusion, like make an illusion of a box and put it underneath the illusion. You could certainly do that, but you can't enchant the anchor itself. It's already enchanted by nature of being an anchor.
Very good.
All right. No,
I just wanted to make sure on that, just so we're not like we get all the way through the house and we're like, okay, everything's covered.
It's a fair question. It's definitely going. While often these things will seem like needle in the haystack searches, something will draw you to it. I find there's no such thing as destiny or fate, but magic has a way of worming its way into your mind.
You don't say.
You believe in everything except for fate and destiny?
Well,
seems like a weird thing to leave off the list.
Well, having seen predictions fall short multiple times, and having myself far exceeded the destiny that was prophesied to me by about 1,000 years or so, yeah, it's one of those things that you just stop believing in after a while.
I mean, you're more the expert than us, of course, but America might shoot at me and miss. That doesn't mean that I don't believe in guns.
Right, and just like I've seen people given 6 months to live who recover from cancer. That don't mean that cancer is not something
People
to watch
can
out
be
for.
wrong.
Fair enough.
I ain't saying fate's not forged. I just
That's when the car crashes.
Not to be clear that I'm implying that you will miss if you shoot things.
I hope I do. To be honest, because
So
Well,
I only hope that's the case if you try to shoot me.
on the subject of shooting at each other, there will be potentially new guardians to this anchor if the Shambler has decided we're likely to find it. So be on the
Okay.
lookout for anything.
I was hoping you were just gonna say don't.
or so you think perhaps more of those overgrown alligators that we found in the sewers?
Probably not them, but something along those lines.
At what point will ghosts stop following us around and like shamblers stop taking us and stuff like that so that I can get back to a normal life?
Death.
Well, once you become aware of this stuff, it's really hard to not see it.
How do you shut the door?
Harold reaches.
If you find out, let me know.
Harold will reach out, and if Doris will let him, we'll just squeeze her hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and crush that.
Okay.
You squeeze her hand, she breaks your fingers.
Yes, and
Oh,
more guardians.
Just like when we were welcoming our Hannah into the world.
Sorry.
You think? I ain't sure how to describe it. New things, weird. There's something off about a lot of this stuff. Maybe it's not something you have to deal with because you're, experienced, but new costs, new things. I'm trying to ask if these things are likely to also drain sanity. But America doesn't know that term at all.
Yeah. They're likely not to be anything you've seen before. So very possibly it'll be something that'll affect you somewhat. You might want to spend a little time gathering yourself on the way. If anyone wants to talk to the doctor, you've got about an hour, I'm assuming.
I will put up my I will put up my metaphorical "the doctor is in Lucy" sign.
The doctor is very in.
To post it on the side of this window because we're in a tiny car together.
So if anyone would like to spend the next hour talking to
Group
Jahan,
therapy, folks.
Gah!
group therapy,
Group therapy
style.
in a car on the way to a traumatic event.
Yep.
I actually really kind of want to role play this out.
You can role play it out, or you can make dice rolls. That's up to you guys.
Jahan just waits.
This ghost thing is bullshit fucking terrifying.
It really is. Is this
Not wrong.
How many ghosts have you run into then, Mr. Collins? Officer?
Officer works. I lost count.
Is that because you can only count to 10? I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I just want to get a ballpark here. Maybe you're magically cursed and you can only count to 10.
More than a battalion, less than an army.
Yeah.
And what sort of thing tends to trigger them that you found in your experience? What draws them to people?
Traumatic experiences.
For the ghost or the person that they're
both
that they're hunting after.
Both typically. Also, Ghosts are all over the place, but normally the human mind can rationalize their activities as, gravity, a cat, something you didn't see, things like that. Once you've become aware of their existence, it becomes a lot harder to rationalize their activity, and so you become aware of a lot more of them.
Are there locations that are more appealing to them?
Nope. People die everywhere, and as a consequence, their ghosts are everywhere.
I ain't sure why that'll help. Yeah, people die. Something happens after. It's news to some people, it's not news to others.
Is it specifically tied to where they die and where they die and not where they're laying? That would make it conversely unlikely to find ghosts in a graveyard.
Well, you understand that it's not like there's not a tether or a radius. They pop up where they die if they die in certain circumstances, which are as many and varied as the sun is, as there are days in the year and years in our lifetimes.
Can they
And they
travel
have a
across the
radius.
ocean?
If they died in the ocean, sure. If they're strong enough, if their hatred's enough. That's the other thing. Ghosts are beings of emotion. They're beings of... That's all they've got left is their emotions. And the stronger the emotion, the stronger the ghost.
Can we stop talking about ghosts?
I am
I mean,
all
we were-
for...
We were here to talk. I believe we were just going to try and. I don't know. You were all going to open up, and I was going to try and
I'm
help.
scared.
But you were the one who brought up ghosts,
Yes. I'm scared.
and it's
I
understandable.
don't like any of this.
If I can ask, what is it that scares you about it?
The inevitability that's just like that this is going to keep happening for the rest of our lives.
And why that?
That there is no escaping from it. That it's just going to keep, these things are going to keep popping up. I'm going to keep seeing my dead husband's head when I open the fridge, or there's going to be fog every time I go outside.
Mm-hmm.
That it's
So I mean, the
it's
first
like getting old.
How so?
It's not getting better.
Fair.
It's
everyone,
just getting worse.
everyone in real life, take a d6 of
Legit.
I just had a birthday. Oh, it's great. Anyway.
I don't need to get older
you-
to get sicker.
You young people. So what you're saying then is that it's not necessarily the specific trauma of the images in particular. It's reminding you of mortality.
Yes.
Okay.
John, can I choose to make a luck roll for myself? Just
Sure.
sort of. Okay.
You can choose to make any roll you like whenever you want.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna make a sanity roll because that's probably a better measure.
I just get to say what happens when you fail.
Okay. Well, obviously, when I'm making a roll for myself, I'm making it because I have something in mind that it is telling me.
I know. I'm just teasing. I have no condition on that roll, so whatever that tells you is what it tells you.
What
Okay.
is it? What is it about mortality specifically that frightens you? Did your and I'm not trying to knock anything, but did your particular religious sect have what was their view on death?
Nothing. It doesn't matter. It's all it just ends and you are dead and that's it. It's and then what I've had this whole life and I keep getting older, and when people start to look past you, like you're not all there anymore, and I don't have and being alone, and I don't this is it's a lot.
It is.
Okay, it's just a lot.
It is. It absolutely is. And that is if your belief is that there's or the belief that was taught to you was that there is nothing after, I can understand why that would be for some quite terrifying. Additionally, my understanding at this point is that you have had no small amount of death surrounding you. Is that fair?
Fair.
Harold's just like,
Yeah,
All
Harold missed some backstory.
it's all the ghosts, Harold. It's all the ghosts.
Did try.
Not very hard.
So, if I could propose something, just a notion, and perhaps a way to look at it. Obviously, my beliefs are not the same as yours. But there is a certain level of similarity in that there's still a loss of self and what makes you what you are, to my beliefs, when you pass on. So it is sort of leaving, in essence, you become nothing. It's sort of similar. The soul moves on and it's reborn and etc. But what makes Jahan or Doris would stay behind. I chose to view that in such a way that is, I mean, that's going to happen eventually to all of us, right?
Yes.
Collins coughs, rolls down the window.
You're
starts
not
smoking.
helping. Shut up.
He didn't say anything. He just started smoking.
Unless you can make this one immortal.
Can you?
I'm not Merlin.
Do you
So
know
that's
where
a
he
no.
is?
Dead.
So that's a no.
Right, you got a second Merlin understudy. Merlin.
Understudy Merlin.
So
is there a backup
I
Merlin
can't
anywhere?
help with the death
He
thing.
points at Jahan.
But
Oh, fuck
Right.
you.
I can't help with the everyone will eventually die thing. But in the getting there, in the this moment that sort of, even without all this, sometimes there's experiences that set you apart from other people.
Right.
For a little while, for a long while, forever. I don't mean this as a joke. Have you considered trying on a cowboy hat? I'm gonna explain. If you feel like people look past you, people just aren't seeing you because they're not concerned and you're gonna be gone soon. There's something that can be really satisfying, I guess, about becoming someone interesting to them, someone that they want to know what that's about. Now, don't actually take a cowboy hat because that's my thing, but
I bloody knew it. All Americans, Harold mutters under his breath.
Weirdly, that makes
proud
a lot
and
of
true.
sense.
Proud and true.
What happens, America, if the cowboy hat doesn't fit anymore?
Try on a duck hunting hat. Try on. Find something that means something to you that you can follow up on.
What happens?
It's not
is-
just that they'll ask the question, it's that you'll have their answer or something interesting enough to pass for it.
Right.
What happens is the metaphor falls apart. That's what happens, Doris.
No.
Hey, I'm
actually
fucking
helping her
trying.
No,
Shush,
no.
reality. Stop telling me I'm not good at that.
No,
Another-
I know. It's just what happens if the cowboy hat doesn't fit. Well, the metaphor falls apart, Doris.
Right. Here's how I sort of view it. Like it's inevitable. We're all gonna pass at some point. Present singular unique company excluded.
Blows a puff of smoke out the window.
If there's literally no fighting it, then all you can control is how you react to that news. I've found that the best way, personally, it may not work for you, but it what personally works for me, is taking the time, recognizing that that means you have an indeterminate amount of days. Don't think 173 or 7,000 and whatever, or 3 hours, whatever it might be, because you don't know. And take that amount of time. Each moment that you have beyond, each moment that you have, period, is something to do something that you want with.
I am very
It's
much a
very-
fan of living life.
Yeah. Sorry, no, you're good.
I'm very much a fan of living like you're gonna die tomorrow.
It's trite. It's a cliche. But the funny thing is, it's a cliche because it works. If it didn't work, it's a philosophy that would have died out a long time ago.
With all the reckless people who use it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Of course.
Doris, people of a certain age, you, of course, to a lesser extent than me, but have already felt that they've lived out their lives. And look at us. We've smashed through a secret staircase. We've fished out an impudent young whelp from a vat of fish guts or whatever it was. We've run from skeletons in a graveyard and fought giant alligators in a sewer. And most people have, at this point, figured that, well, that's it, except for some telly on Sundays and taking in the post when it arrives. So, however much time we have, I'd certainly say we're making the most out of it.
Thank you. And she's gonna kiss Harold very long.
There's one more thing.
It becomes very uncomfortable for everybody else in the car.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to know what all of my accoutrements are commenting on this as.
You don't want to know, because they are. Anyways, as that starts, Collins, there's also one more thing that helped. That always helped me, at least. Whenever we used to ride into battle and with the knights and the boys, facing certain death at the hands of some barbarian horde or invading Romans or anything like that, we used to sing, ballads to each other and great choral ballads to keep our energy up. And quite frankly, there's only one ballad of the day that fits at this point in time. And he hits the play button on his CD player, and Bohemian Rhapsody starts to play.
Oh, good Christ.
Yep. Beautiful.
And he, in his Welsh accented self, will sing Bohemian Rhapsody all the way to the house.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So the group of you get to determine if that conversation helped your character or not.
Yes.
Harold comes up for air just long enough to say, "God save the Queen," as the music starts and it goes back to this.
America very intentionally moved that conversation to help Doris, so probably not that much.
Helping others can also help yourself. It's up to you. If you decide that that conversation helped, you can roll a d10 and get that much sanity back.
I will. Yeah, I think it did, just because. Yeah.
Can I decide that the kissing
One
helped?
Oh God.
fucking sanity.
The kissing is part of the
Quit
is part of the
complaining,
conversation,
sanity.
Harold.
Pile.
You're not wrong.
Wow.
But
1, 2,
We're
3.
bad.
But you also have to realize that sanity, my sanity pool, is basically just the bullets in my gun.
Did you call him sanity pile?
Yes, I did, because Jeremy's sanity is
Nice.
far higher than everyone
Nice.
else's. I think I'm back above 30, which is good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 33,
So-
so I'm not crazy until the next time.
So yeah, as the conversation ends, you realize you haven't heard your clothing talking to you for a little while.
I probably
I
realize
loved-
it when I try and shut out all of the kissing conversation.
I loved sanity pile on the Andy Griffith Show.
So you all get a d10 plus 3. So everyone, go ahead and add another 3 to your.
Oh,
your
good.
sanity
I'm
pool.
at 35.
Nice.
For the
69.
I'm couching the 3 being Collins's singing of Bohemian Rhapsody.
I was gonna say I feel like that is why we all got really low, is because of the constant singing of Bohemian Rhapsody. But you do you.
I mean, I could penalize you for him singing Bohemian Rhapsody if you really want.
No,
No.
no, I'm
Okay.
I
good.
think the argument was that the die rolls have done that for us
Anyways.
already.
So to the tunes on the musical wings of Queen, the chariot that is carrying you all gets you to the manor in Sussex, where it parks in the muddy dirt. As it parks, the fog completely fell away as you left London. It seems that fog was only blanketing London, and it wasn't getting anywhere outside of it at the moment.
Oh, good.
And as the fog rescinded, the rain began. So you are currently the sun has gone down, and it is currently the beginnings of a dark and stormy night as you pull up to the manor.
How long has it
It's
been
4
we were here
p.m.
last?
in England.
Sorry, what was that, Harold?
Yep.
I was saying, how long has it been since we were here last? About a week?
About a week, yeah.
What does the lawn look like? Is it still all ripped up from when we were trying to get the cars unstuck, or does it
Yes.
look?
Yeah, it's all muddy and messy, and there are still there are not tire tracks left anymore because it's been a week of rain and mud.
Okay.
But it's not like it's any better than it was previously.
No landscaping at work or anything.
Correct. Nobody's
repairing
been
the grounds, okay.
by.
Right.
Well, let's go see if anybody's home, shall we?
Right.
Don't you
Harold
go
will,
there?
I think, take the fouling
Wellingtons?
piece out of the car.
What was
Yeah.
that? What was that, Mar?
Got your Wellingtons, Harold?
Always.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
not
want to know what
bringing
that
a gun
euphemism
in.
is.
I just don't think it's a good idea. So I'm gonna bring my crossbow, my whip, a few other things in a duffel bag.
Yeah, I've got my brick. And
I don't
my
think a
hat.
gun is a good idea. Here are my several other weapons.
I
never
mean,
do
I
going
would
without my rubbers.
purely out of character. I would argue that you're much less likely to accidentally shoot someone with something as relatively finesse as a gun compared to a crossbow. But
It's not actually a. Oh yeah, it's a crossbow. It's a compound crossbow.
but yeah, no, I think like Jahan has no opinion on that
No.
because
I would point out that it takes a lot more to load and fire a crossbow.
I also don't think it's like super weird to see somebody out on a rainy day in Wellingtons with a fouling gun.
Fair.
You
No, I just have a carbine.
Yeah, no, little stranger if America comes in fully loaded for bear. Literally.
The door kicks open. Colin steps out, lit cigarette still in his mouth as he closes the door back and walks up towards the door. Looks back over your shoulders. So just in case there's anybody inside, just do your best to secrete the pieces. As he pulls out his badge and goes up to
Put
knock on the
hat
door.
Pin in my hair. Hoist my purse. I'm ready. I'm a stealth person.
My stuff is all in a bag and all could be considered athletic supplies.
Yep.
Harold just tries to hold his gun respectably.
And yeah, I'll stay back because, you know.
You just breach it and hold it over your elbow, Harold.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
Like in the traditional,
Probably best that
I'm
Jahan
not
and I are
using
at the
this.
back.
I'm not using this to fight.
Yeah,
mode.
exactly. Like, yeah, it's cracked open with nothing in it.
Yeah.
I definitely in the back. I refuse to be chained.
Collins moves up to the door. Boom, boom, boom. Hello? Open up. Boom, boom, boom. This is the place. He sort of leans in, looks back at you, and then very loudly, I heard the sound of something falling over. There's potentially a robbery in process. And he kicks the door hard enough that the bolt shatters and it just swings open.
Does that ever work?
Does it whatever work?
Just saying that.
I mean, you all heard it. He steps inside.
And I'll testify.
I'm here to render medical advice, says Harold, carrying his gun.
America has a strong impression of a TF2 doctor.
I'm here to find your evil magical artifact and destroy it.
And Harold will...
I'm an American. Walks in.
I love everyone leaning into Collins' stupidity.
Eminent domain. Woo.
Not how that works.
It is my man.
Neither just saying I'm an American and walking in.
It is my manifest destiny to walk into this house.
Oh god, that's great.
Sure. America stretches these things.
That's
most of the
fine
time.
because it was the British that originally said that. So it's
Yep.
it's just bringing it home.
About fair
It's just-
play, motherfucker.
It's just bringing it home.
We walk in.
What are you talking about? It's not American civilization. Clearly, it's not civilization. So we can just walk in and take it, right?
Oh,
I desperately Drastic side note. I desperately want to do a parody of that. Just like walking into people's houses and recording it and be like, this is mine now. Just-
For the record,
I feel like that's the beginning of a different horror thing where all of the teenagers die.
it is. British civilization is absolutely civilization. It's just weak civilization that needed us to save their ass in World War II.
Okay, I like that.
and as
Sure.
such, we own your property.
And as such, we own it. You owe us everything, so we just get to walk anywhere.
There you go.
We found a British person and had them sign this contract giving over the entire country. How do you not understand that?
We
Could you not
paid-
read the
We
contract?
paid him in beads. It was
We
fine.
pay, yeah, we paid you in we paid you in beads.
We're
Worked
renaming it.
last time.
We're renaming it New America.
You
Anyway.
I'm
can't have
very
a York.
uncomfortable
We
now.
already have a New York. We're gonna have to fix that. Sorry.
York classic.
Yeah. York 0. Way less calories than New York.
Back
Terry York.
on the path to the house.
Sorry.
Sweet.
This is what happens when you
Walk up.
sidetrack the keeper. Anyways,
Rain.
raining, door kicked in. You
Yep.
all head in.
Walk
Does
over
Doris
the
have
front of it.
anything pithy to say as she walks in like the rest?
Nope.
All right. Just severe silence.
Yep.
You find yourselves back in the decrepit lobby area of this manor, looking decidedly more decrepit than it did the last time you were here. The last time you were here, there were lights on, there were people around, there had been some attempt at certain points to make the house presentable. Now there's like seem oddly, given that it's only been a week, the carpet that was laid out, so the runner that was laid out leading from the main door in towards one of the interior hallways, has become rotted and faded with age, as if it's been chewed on and left out for months. The counters that were previously set up to hold concessions and information and pamphlets are now just old empty bar stations and furniture that is falling apart very clearly with holes in it and bits of wood missing. The stairs look even more ominous, and it seems like you're not the only ones that fell through at places, as there are several more broken steps going up and down each flight.
My old nemesis, we meet again.
Right, so, you said there was stuff on the third floor, stuff on the first floor. Was there anything on the second floor?
Second floor
Yes,
was
the
where
second
some
floor
of the
was-
library was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the-
that thing that was locked behind the bookcase that you said was an unlikely thing because it was sealed behind one of those symbols.
Right.
Because I did mention that part to him before.
Yeah, you did. Might still be useful to go looking at that, though.
Sure.
So, up to you. Do you all want to split up or negotiate
No.
as one unit?
No.
You're not bloody splitting up.
I've always wanted to say that, though. Let's split up, gang, like they do in the Scooby-Doo thing.
Sure. Let's not, though. And let's start on the third floor because I really want to see this slide.
Fair enough.
Right.
Right, well, up the stairs we go. The four of you are careful to avoid all the broken spots and don't need to make any climb rolls.
I was gonna say, John, I swan to God, if you make us roll again.
You swan to God? Oh, so you're Zeus now, is what you're saying.
Okay.
No. That's a-
That's
not.
God to Swan,
And then
Yeah.
back.
specifically for the sex.
And then back, though.
well,
Not the weirdest thing he ever turned into.
No, it's
Nope.
not. Anyway,
Is perhaps the weirdest thing he ever fucked someone as.
he also fucked
Golden
someone as a
shower
bull.
of light.
That too.
splishy splashy.
Phrasing.
He did he became a bowl, a golden shower, and a swan. Or a goose.
All right. We're climbing the stairs.
Yeah, we're up the stairs to the third floor. where Doris and Harold
So
saw things.
heading into the
Yep.
attic, you head into the attic space on the 3rd floor, starting from one end, intending to go all the way around to the other. And in the first point, you find the reliquary, which was the room that you had found the Stonehenge model in.
Okay.
In the reliquary, it is missing far more of the items that it had in it previously. Many of the items in here were sold off eventually. The model Stonehenge is still there, and so all of you see this small model Stonehenge missing one brick. Like, very obviously missing one brick, too.
That's
So
odd.
can
Somebody
I
must
sort
have
of
bought
start
part
going
of it.
around the room with like just my knife or something
Sure.
and like trying to scratch things?
Give me a spot hidden. We'll make it a spot hidden roll.
All right.
Just to see
I
if you,
am
just so that you get
deli-
everything.
Deliberately ignoring
Fair enough.
Stonehenge and helping America with that probably.
Fail.
Everyone
Bad fail.
Everyone that wants to can give me a
Spot
spot hidden roll.
No, nope.
Just
Hey,
and
nice,
just a regular
Harold.
fail. 95 is the fumble if you're below 50. So just a regular fail. So the group of you go around checking out the various items you're looking at. Harold, you find that secret lever again. That triggers that slide. Don't know if you pull it or not.
I think he specifically steps to the side and says, like, just so everyone is careful this time, and we'll pull it and make sure he's not standing on the same spot of ground.
Cool. You pull it. Everyone watches as Harold falls down as the trapdoor seems to have moved, Harold.
Oh.
Harold,
Oh.
Give me a dexterity check.
I should have seen this coming.
Give me a dexterity roll.
Fail. 99 fumble.
Oh.
So yeah,
my dex is 50.
Yeah, 99 is still
Okay.
If your dex is 50, only 100 is a fumble, so you're fine.
Okay.
So just a regular fail. So you fall and you like sort of throw your arms out to try to catch yourself, and in the end just like sort of slam your elbows and just right down the slide.
I'm glad my fouling gun wasn't loaded.
And the rest of you see Harold go down.
That's why gun discipline's important.
Well, and especially, and I will point out also, there, everyone, I just want to point out, this is the lever to make sure that nobody goes, ah!
there it
And
goes
Doris,
again.
looking at it, yeah, that trapdoor moved. It was originally over to the side when it first got pulled. That's weird.
That's in a different spot.
Wait, how do you mean in a different spot? Colin says as he moves over towards the trapdoor and looks down.
It used to be over on that angle.
True.
Right there.
Collins pulls out his longsword, again from nowhere, and just sort of stabs down into the floor. And you
Right.
notice that it doesn't penetrate the floorboard.
Oh.
He walks over to the wall and stabs it into the wall. And you again notice that it doesn't penetrate the floorboard or the wall.
The whole house.
So we've got a different problem.
What does that mean?
You're making a thing to destroy it. That gonna be big enough to destroy a room or a house?
So I'm figuring that the Shambler figured out a way to make the house its anchor, the entire house, which also means that it controls the house.
That we're inside.
Yes.
Harold?
Harold, you into a pile of books.
Okay.
The same pile of books, in fact.
Shouts back up. Well, actually, is anything hurt?
Yeah, no, nothing's hurt, and you can hear them shouting down.
All right. Nothing hurt but my pride.
Does my D&D rope that I stole from Jack's character stole? He gave it to me, and I never gave it back.
Yeah, you have climbing rope, yeah.
Does my climbing rope It seemed like it's long enough that Harold could potentially climb back up.
Probably. This is meant to go down. This is meant to go up and down cliff faces. This is a
Yeah.
3-story house.
So I'll throw that down to Harold. See if you can climb back up. I don't like us being separated. Also, I have my phone out. See if I can see down there to where Harold is at all.
You can see this slide that immediately sort of juts off at a soft angle
Okay.
and then goes away. Yeah.
Well, then I'll just sort of feed it down the slide.
After a little while, Harold, a rope smacks you in the head.
Okay. I'm going to tie the bottom of the rope to. I'll probably tie it around my cane and then loop the end of it through the trigger guard of the fouling piece.
So that they don't fall. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that I don't have to try to carry them while climbing.
Makes
sense.
sense.
And then I will try to climb up using
Are you aiding him by pulling on the rope while he's climbing?
Yeah,
America?
I'm doing what I can.
Right.
If Collins, the only person with a strength stat, wants to help, that would be awesome.
Well, Harold, you'll get a bonus die. So roll the purple one, I think it is, that rolls with multiple dice.
Nope.
All right, so you're making progress. As America, Harold's heavier than you thought. Collins, meanwhile, is sort of staring at the wall, poking his longsword into it. Right, so if it's made the entire house its anchor, then that means there has to be something else, like a heart to the house that it's actually tied to. Something that's an integral part of the house that would be the thing we have to find and stab. But that,
Given that
harder.
this kind of trope is very cowboy, can America make a roll
Absolutely, America
for
can.
what that would be?
In fact, you'll get a bonus die for your let's see, an occult roll.
Great.
Felt
I'm-
like roll a cult.
Are we talking something organic? Harold
Really
shouts up
glad
there.
it's not archaeology because I at least have a 7 in occult.
God motherfucking.
Fail.
Want to use luck?
That's
to
a
get to 7.
From 46.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
I don't know how much luck the rest of you have. Luck
You
is
know
the
what?
only
I
stat
will
I know
use-
a lot of.
luck,
So
but
I will use 15 fucking luck.
Well, can I try to make a roll just to
Yeah,
see
you can. Yeah, go ahead.
on the
I am
wacky off
undoing
chance?
until there is a reason.
Okay, that's only 7 luck for me. Maybe I should just spend the 7 luck.
You can both spend it. As a note, you'll all get different information because you have different backgrounds. So, all
Yeah,
I'll
I don't think
try
I've
it.
spent luck on anything. I'll spend the 7 luck.
right. So you reduce your luck
I'm
by
also
7.
spending the
look, I'm not
15.
cutting my luck stat in half for
Reduce your luck by
a
15.
lore roll.
No,
Do you
you
wanna-
definitely shouldn't.
Do you want to spend 49 points of your luck, Doris?
Yes. Do it.
I
Do it.
mean,
Come and
listen,
get your love.
If it makes anybody feel better,
appreciate-
I spent 26 points of luck in our Call of Cthulhu game yesterday.
I mean,
Fair.
you only live once, and I don't care if this character dies.
But John, I'm hesitant to spend it because that's the one you make me roll to see if I sex good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you roll luck to see if you get lucky.
Hmm. I'll leave it.
Okay.
Doris doesn't know what the heart of a house might be. That
All
doesn't
right.
seem-
So we got a success on Harold and a success on Jahan.
Y'all.
So for both of you, it'll be the thing that comes to your mind is the heart of a house is typically one of two things. It's either the physical centerpiece of the house, whatever the house is built on. Typically, that's a chimney, like a chimney, especially in older houses. The foundation, like the one solid, like the first solid pillar in a foundation that they build is the chimney, and then you build out around that. So, like the hearth. That's why it's called a hearth. Is often the heart of a house. The other concept of heart of a building is the, like, whatever the core purpose of it is. or whoever owned it or lived in it. So like an animation studio, the heart of the animation studio would be the animation the actual animating studio part of it, where the people actually do the animation and put it together and put the reels together. That whole art suite. In a hotel, it would be, the manager's office or whoever the concierge is, their office, something like that. So like it's either the physical centerpiece of the house, which would probably be the hearth, or whatever conceptually would be the heart of this place, knowing it belongs to an animator, probably the animation studio or something near there.
Which one of us was that?
Both of you came up with that.
Okay. Well, sounds like maybe the studio might be, which is actually
Right.
where I was.
Harold, as you're halfway up the slide, America, and your Collins comes over and helps you pull up. Go ahead and give me another climb check with 2 bonus dice, Harold.
Okay. How do I do 2 bonus dice?
It's the same one. You just look at the +2 instead of the.
Nope.
No, that's a success. That's a critical success. That's a critical success. You rolled a 1. Yes.
Oh, fair.
You
Okay.
make it.
Oh, that
Critical.
was
So it's
That's why it's easier to
Numbers
roll
work.
the green die.
critical, hard. It's critical, hard, success, fail, fumble. Those are the only
And-
rolls that you get.
The reason I'd argue that in this case it doesn't help is because you'd have to roll it multiple times for the bonus die.
Yeah.
But anyways, so you get, you get pulled up, Harold, into the attic area where you had fallen from. Right.
Fortunately, probably ought to use the stairs, but I think we're headed back down then.
Well, hopefully, if the Shambler is controlling the house and it knows where. So you remember those guards I was talking about? I would imagine that's actually now the house, not actually any creatures. I didn't think it had anchored an entire fucking building to itself.
What's going to prevent us from trying to get there?
We're already inside the house. What could go wrong now?
As
Don't.
the trapdoor beneath you shuts.
You're welcome, John.
Well, there's a malevolent creature that lives between dimensions, siphoning off the life force of others, currently inhabiting the walls, foundation, doors, and stairs of this house.
Yes.
So I don't know, Harold, what could go wrong?
Well, I imagine we'll find out sooner if we just sit around here yattering on about it than if we try to make some progress.
So, any ideas as to where we should be going?
I think the animation studio would make sense. Not sure about the rest of you lot.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, well, let's go take a look.
And that's where yeah,
Just
not a bad thought.
just to check and see. Collins reaches over and grabs that lever, that book lever, and pulls on it. And there's a clicking sound, but the floor doesn't open up. Yep, nope. Not letting us go back down that way.
Right.
All right, well, stairs it is.
I'll recollect my cane and rifle and then return the rope to America.
Once everything has been settled, Collins heads over to the door you guys came through. Hits the handle, twists it again.
Mm-hmm.
Door's locked.
Right.
Great.
Well, no sense playing silly buggers, eh? And Harold will launch his shoulder against the door.
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Hard success.
You slam into the door. The bolt bursts open and the door swings wide into a wall.
Ah,
Is there a window that still looks outside in this room?
Yes.
Okay, can that open?
Yeah, you slide open, lean out, and look down, and it seems like the house has grown about 3 stories.
Does that mean there's a story directly below me that I could walk out onto?
No. So it's one of those attic windows that are just like sort of set in like high and not with no ledge underneath them.
Yeah.
And so, but you look down,
But
and you can
sometimes
see,
the floor below extends further than the attic. That's not the case here.
yeah, that's not the case here. You're on sort of you're on the front facing wall of the attic, so it would be the other way if you for any sloping roofs. It's one of those buildings that's sort of built flat up and then it slopes down the other way.
All right.
Um,
Well, I only have one other strategy to solve problems other than going directly ahead.
but like I said, you do notice that it does seem like there are 3 additional floors that weren't there when you walked in.
As a warning, layout made us shifted. It seems like we're a bit higher up than we ought to be.
And you said the animation studio's on the first floor, right?
Well,
Yes.
it was once upon a time. Not sure anything anymore.
Well, if it made the building taller to compensate,
Protecting itself.
then probably yeah.
It knows what we're doing.
So that gives us an idea that we are right about where we ought to go.
Right. Well,
Just not how to get there.
Or it knows what we're thinking and is trying to lure us into a trap. I'm not saying we don't do it anyways. I'm just saying
Jesus.
we have to account for the idea. We have to not be surprised when it's actually like the attic.
right. Well,
Right ray of sunshine you are, Dr. Ramsey.
let's see if we can't get out through the other door
Like to
then.
plan ahead.
And Collins walks over to the other door, the door that leads further into the attic area. And as he reaches out for the door handle and twists it, the floor underneath him opens up and he drops.
Oh,
And it
Well,
closes,
down is down.
and it closes back up over top him, leaving the 4 of you alone in this attic room.
fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Try the same trick twice. Try and open that door.
It opens.
Into a wall.
No, into a hallway.
All right.
It's
Yep.
Stick close.
yeah.
And
Well-
I have my crossbow on my bandolier by now.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go
And
ahead
whip out.
So, I think we all better stay very close together, or else we're all about to get Agatha Christie here.
Jahan, as you follow up towards where everybody else is gathering, your foot clatters on something.
Okay.
And you look down and see the dagger, the ritual dagger that had been made. It looks like it fell out of his coat when he fell.
I pick that up.
So Jahan
great.
is currently carrying the ritual dagger.
I am. I like how you announce that as if it's and that's how he died.
No, I'm just
I like to think of it as like the RPG game. Blank has equipped blank.
exactly. It's the little
It's-
chat box that pops up and says. So
I
and so.
was figuring it was Chekhov's ritual dagger. So, like,
I mean, it very well
just
could
so
have
you
been.
all remember where it is, and it's not confusing to anybody when Jahan, for some reason, out of the blue, stabs himself.
I'm just
Or goes missing next.
Burgos-
making sure everyone is aware of where the dagger is.
Yeah.
Stay close.
All right.
Head-
So
head
before
through
we
the
get
center.
murdered by bad fiction.
So
Harold is clearly struggling with something and says, "Do you think? I mean, I don't want to get. Oh, bloody hell! Should we all hold hands?"
Sure.
Yes.
Holds out a hand.
there's apparently 45 minutes left in something. I don't know what. I just heard somebody yell
I heard it
45 minutes
too.
left.
It's
Nope.
kind of amazing.
Don't know.
Yeah, I will take a hand with the hand that is not holding a dagger because that would be awkward.
Yeah, I feel like that's the trick, because we've all got things, and America is not left-handed and doesn't dual left-handed.
I mean, I guess I could, just to make sure if I vanish, the dagger stays with somebody else. Whoever's holding the hand out, I just stab them in the hand.
So
and off
as
with that.
logistically, we try and do a star of hand holding. America pauses for a second, grabs out some of the rope on everyone's wrists.
That works too.
Solid choice.
So
It's preschool, but it's actually probably more convenient than holding hands.
It won't
Harold-
help
Harold-
because
Harold
at
actually
some
looks-
point, we'll turn around a corner and just whoever's in the back or whoever's in the front, the rope will just fall and there will be no knowledge
Yeah.
of what happened to that person. But the
Same
steps
is true
must
with
be
hand
taken.
holding,
I mean,
okay?
or-
The steps must be taken regardless.
Though I will say it's a lot better if somebody gets yanked and nothing's left but their disembodied bloody hand. It's a lot better if it's attached to a rope than you're holding it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean,
that
a lot
wasn't the
better,
reason,
maybe,
but it
pushing
probably totally was. All right.
I just like to give you I just like to give you appropriate visuals. That's all.
All right.
So, you exit out of the reliquary into a hallway. This hallway is rickety, old, ancient. But as you step into it and the door closes behind you, ensconced candles along the wall light up, fire just sort of spontaneously snapping into existence across these candles in a row. And as they go down the hallway, this hallway, which seems impossibly long for the building it's in, the light shining on the wood makes it look much better. Actually, more like it's brand new and well-polished, dark mahogany flooring and walls, with a very nice red velvet runner connecting the one door that you came out of all the way down to the end of the hallway where there is a window, and there are 4 more doors lining this hallway, each flanked by candle sconces.
Does it look like it did when we
Horror
were here
video
last time,
games
or
are
does
gonna
it look
come to
nicer
life.
than
Why
that?
can't Save Cat be real?
Sorry, what was that, Harold?
I was asking, does it look now like it did when we were here the first time, or does it look nicer than that?
It looks nicer than that.
Okay.
You in particular, Harold, are sort of brought back to when you were in the military, when you were in you were in Navy, right?
No, the Royal Air Service.
Royal Air Service, yes. You're actually brought back in your mind to a Parisian hotel you stayed in once, where your unit was stationed,
Okay.
in an English base in France, in an Allied base.
As far as level of refinement, or as in this
Like
looks
this is
like
a
that same
hallway
place?
out of that place, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not sharing that information.
You distinctly recall, in fact, you stayed in that third room on the right, and your CO stayed in the second one.
Okay.
Your CO, who, now that you're thinking about it, died in that hotel.
Okay.
Well, Harold's thinking about that. Well, I guess we've got some doors to try.
I think an invitation of candles lighting means end of the hall, but if you want to check, let's go.
You can see the end of the hall, and it's just a window.
Cool.
Let's
That
check-
America has video game brain.
Here, let's check this third one on the right.
All
Why
right.
don't we just start with the first?
Kick that one open.
You kick
What
it
Harold
open.
pointed to.
You kick it open as Doris is voicing the question. Inside, there's a very well appointed hotel room. It's fairly classic looking. It's not like a modern hotel where they have, like, you know, your TV appliances and kitchenette and things. It's sort of there's a single bed. There's a single bed with a nightstand with a lit oil lamp on the nightstand. A window on the far wall, which seems impossible because that would be an interior wall, if the house's layout is correct, which obviously it's not anymore. A writing desk with some paper and inkwell on it, a chair, and then a wardrobe in which hangs what looks to be a older but not ancient, like not like World War II or anything, but older Air Force like uniform, Royal Air Force uniform.
Does it look just like I remember it?
Yeah, exactly like you remember it.
Uh,
In fact, that's your uniform.
okay. Was this before or after Ascension Island?
This was before Ascension Island. After your CO died, and that's when you got sent out there.
How did the CO die?
Mysterious circumstances. Everyone thought it was like he'd probably just got drunk, just drank himself to death, because he was a heavy drinker, and you were in France, which if you're a heavy drinker in France, it's probably not the best place to be. And he was found dead in his room with an empty bottle in his hand.
Okay. So not exactly a closed door mystery, at least from everyone else's perspective.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check. Taking in the room, Harold's gonna check the stone in his pocket.
It's a glowing.
Oh, right. Well, can I think of anything? This was before Ascension Island. All right then.
It's a room. Let's check some of the other ones. I don't see anything here.
Right.
I open another door.
Give me a luck roll.
Okay.
If this ain't
Oh god.
what an animator studio looks like. If it
Uh,
ain't, where was this getting drawn from?
I agree with America. I think we ought to move along and then
Doris,
find a way out.
you
Yep.
open that second door, that one immediately to the right of this third one.
Yep.
Of course you do.
You open it up, and it opens into an island.
Oh. Like a tropical deserted island.
Yeah, like
type
South
thing?
South Pacific.
Yeah.
Like South Pacific?
Or wherever that island was. I forget.
Okay.
I thought you said South Pacific. I may have been wrong.
Yeah, I mean weirdly non-tropical, like scraggly plant, but like very heavily volcanic island.
Yeah.
Mm.
Was it not in the South Pacific? Did I get that wrong? What ocean are we in?
It might be something.
We are-
Hold on.
You are on the Atlantic Ocean.
No, not us. The island that I'm talking to Craig about.
No, but
Sorry,
it is also it's in the south.
WWE stuff happened, so
Yeah, it's in the South Atlantic Ocean.
South Atlantic. Okay.
It's fine. We're reliving someone's war trauma.
Yeah, so it's
Perfectly normal.
It's a volcanic island from the south, like sort of a South Atlantic volcanic island.
Okay. Well, there's an island in here.
You see a lava flow in the distance.
It looks like volcanic activity.
Has
Maybe
Doris,
don't go near a volcano.
Yeah,
It's erupting inside of a house that's trying to kill us.
has Doris gone through the door?
No, she's staying. We're all tied together. I don't think she can go very far. She's staying on the threshold.
Maybe you know what? Harold will come up and try to close the door and say,
What?
maybe
me
we
a-
let him go
that
through.
Give me a
That
sanity
was-
check, Harold.
I don't wanna.
I don't care.
All right, yeah. Harold comes up and it's like, maybe we ought to. Oh.
So Harold, you see the back of a very familiar person standing next to that lava flow in the distance.
Okay, which person is it?
I mean, you haven't seen the back of your head very often, and this is a much younger version of the back of your head, but it's definitely the back of your head.
I can tell something's going wrong, even if I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Harold is like sort of stopped mid-sentence and is sort of staring out the door.
So I'm going to try and shoot a crossbow bolt through the window in the far end of the hallway because I'm still in the hallway.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll.
definitely put my crossbow in.
And Harold,
Yeah.
you see, looking at the back of your own head,
Extreme success.
shatters through the window. Harold, looking at the back of your own head, you see yourself kneel down to pick something up.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Harold is yelling through the door. Don't
I am
touch it!
Trying to grab Harold, Doris, whichever one is directly tied to me, because I assume they are connected to each other.
I mean, yeah, you just have to grab the rope and yank, really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll grab the rope and hope that Jahan doesn't get too frazzled because and I'm trying to bolt for that window.
Oh, give me a strength check.
Cool. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Fumble.
Oh,
So you push off and yank, and you're overcompensating because you know how heavy Harold is, especially having to lift him up.
Yeah.
And you overcompensate slightly too much, and as you push down with your very sharp cowboy boots, they just sort of crack and the floor gives way and you just sort of drop to one knee as your left leg gets stuck in the floorboard. As Harold, looking over, sees this figure robed in yellow appear as if it had been standing there the whole time over the right shoulder of younger you, and just sort of put an arm around the shoulders as you both lean down towards the lava flow, and the door slams shut in your face.
Which shoulder did it go? Was it leaning over?
It was which side of your which leg is injured?
It's his left leg.
So it was on your right side, reaching over to your left.
Okay. Harold punches back over his right shoulder.
All right, Doris, make a dodge roll.
yep. Wonderful. That's a fail.
So
Oof.
Harold, you just it's not hard because you're just sort of flailing in panic, but you just bop Doris in the
Ow!
face.
You yellow boss! Oh, Doris! Oh, God! Is she okay?
Yeah, no, it's not no damage. It was just
Doris! Oh,
Tries
I'm
everything.
so sorry. I'm
Ow!
what?
What?
We need to get out of here.
We need to find what we're looking for, and I was opening doors to find that. Why did you close it?
It's certainly not a way out of here. It's something from my past.
Yeah. I
Okay.
figured it was something like that because that's how stories go. This
Well, and also-
house is an animator's house. It's not a hotel. If it's got hotel rooms in it, it's drawing them from somewhere.
Right. And if we've learned anything else today, it's that our pasts don't particularly seem to appreciate us these
I'm
days.
kicking my leg out of a hole in the floor of the
I will
demon house.
offer a hand to America and see if
Thanks.
give a strength check, Harold.
Then we need to strategize here.
So as you
Cool.
go over to grab America and pull America up, the floor opens like a mouth and bites down again. Now America is trapped up to their waist.
Ah,
As the floor seems to be eating you, America.
That's not.
Well, down is down.
I'm gonna try to break off the plank.
I'm going to try and stab it so I can get down to the next floor
Okay.
because I'm really, really smart.
Give me an attack roll. With
Can I
whatever you're
assist?
hitting it
I'm
with.
doing unarmed because I don't actually have like something to stab
Sure.
with
Yeah,
available.
we'll say you get a bonus die from Harold's assistance.
Oh. Rolling it again. It doesn't matter.
So you smacking the board, Harold's yanking up, trying to pull a board off. As it does, it opens up again, and you just drop, and it closes over your head, scissoring through the rope. that was
Goal
connecting you.
accomplished.
Scissoring
It was
through
a
the rope.
poor decision.
The rope is.
That
Yeah.
was holding the rest of you together. So now only really Harold and Doris are connected, as Jahan was on the other side of America.
Yep. Yep. Seems fair.
In
Well,
America, you drop into darkness. Jahan, Harold, and Doris.
like I was about to say, just sort of strategy. I asked that we could employ some strategy here.
You say to no one in particular.
It was a good
Yeah.
thought.
Right. We better find a way down. Is the floor looking completely whole at this point?
Yeah, it looks like it's just perfectly sealed back up. The window at the far end was busted, you see. And those
Yeah,
of you
but
that
we're
were in the
still
hallway,
way up high, right?
Those of you that were in the hallway
Yeah.
saw America blast it with a crossbow. Yeah. Well, you were. You're not certain anymore because you weren't looking out the window, and it's definitely a different building. Kind of, maybe, sort of.
Let's go look out the window.
You look out the busted window. You see, this is the roof of the house. Yeah, this is the roof of the manor that you're looking down at. And now that you're on the backside, you can sort of see that it slopes down to a balcony on a floor a floor or two below. It's hard to gauge distance from up here. You could easily open this window. It's not locked or anything.
I'm gonna call America's phone.
You pull out your phone. You have no signal.
Figured it was worth a shot. I thought if I said it confidently, you would forget.
We. Fuck. They're gone.
I mean, there is a hotel room right there. Yeah, you could do that.
House is
Focus.
trying to eat us.
City of Love. Eyebrows waggle. No
one but you knows it's a Parisian hotel, Harold.
This is true. What the?
No, Harold didn't actually say that. I suppose we ought to check the other rooms. Well,
Yes.
that first door.
You open the first door?
Yeah.
It opens up into another
One on the
hotel,
right.
another hotel room, similar
Right.
to the one that you stayed in, but nothing particularly special.
First door
I'll
on the
try
left.
this one. I try the other.
There's only
the other
doors on the right. So there are 4 doors. They're all on the
Okay.
right. There's the first
Yeah.
one, which you opened. There's nothing special in it. The second one apparently led to a volcano. The third one led to a room with an RAF uniform in it. The fourth one you open up, and it leads to a broom closet.
Well, this is just a closet.
You can make a spot hidden roll if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm looking around.
Would John like to make a spot hidden roll as well?
Jahan would, once Jahan is busy writing up this abomination of the WWE storyline.
So a WWE
Fair.
storyline.
Well, we gonna talk after this stream is done. Let me fucking tell ya.
Sweet. Harold, Doris, it's a broom closet as far as you can tell. Harold, perhaps because you remember this hotel and you're starting to remember bits and pieces of this hotel as you look through, you recall that there was a hidden ladder behind the wall of this broom closet for emergency escaping, because this was the top floor, and if somebody, this was an old hotel, one of the few hotels that survived the German occupation of France in World War II, and you recall that there was an escape ladder in the back of this broom closet, specifically for anybody that was in the upper floors that needed to rapidly get to the bottom floors. Should an enemy be invade the hotel, while they're coming up the stairs, you could climb this ladder, take this ladder down. Most of the time, your boys, the RAF just used it to get around their COs, because you all had to walk past his room to get out. So several of you that found this would just take the ladder down. But with that memory, and Jahan, you sort of see what Harold's doing just before he does it. You move over and sort of grab the back wall of this broom closet and just sort of yank it out and set it to the side. And
Right.
sure as hell, there is a ladder right there, just sort of goes straight down.
Great.
All right. Well, it seems to be an accurate recreation. This is here. We used to use this to get some get in and out of the hotel.
Ah. Well, if that leads, maybe how this thing has to follow. No, it doesn't. Hopefully, it follows some sort of logic.
So
I mean,
America,
it's recreated a hotel that I knew from.
Speaking of some sort of logic, yes.
America, you find yourself landing on a very comfortable circular bed. In a very gaudily decorated room that looks kind of like what you imagine a brothel would look like. But an
Does
old
it
one.
look more like the kind of brothel Doris would frequent or Jahan would frequent?
Neither. Probably
Harold?
Harold based on the age.
Okay. I thought Doris was older than Harold.
We're. I don't know.
I
Actually,
think we're almost exactly the same
I think
age.
we're pretty similar.
Okay, but this
I'm
just that
66.
America—that is how America thinks of their friends.
Harold looks older than Doris does. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
definitely. He is not, shall we say, aged
that's,
gracefully.
That's because Doris has made intentional choices.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm there now.
But yeah, like just lots of red and heart-shaped pillows, and you're pretty certain there's a rough spot in the middle of this bed. You're pretty certain this bed has a motor in it.
Feeling that. Well, if this is Jahan, I'm judging him hard. I'm not allowed to judge the other two, but I can judge him. Because I'm sure this ain't my memory. I'm so sorry.
That sounds rather. I don't even know what to say.
Look, the other two are old, and I promise not to judge the old people for being old. I never promise not to judge everyone else. Okay. So, getting off of the heart-shaped motorized bed.
That's what it's for.
Craig can't see you.
I'm glad my level of humor has infected others. So yeah, you're in a fairly well appointed room, gaudy but well appointed, with the bed in sort of like the back middle of it, and there is a door on the far side. It's a door. It's
So
definitely
you said
a door.
everything's heart-shaped.
It's definitely a door.
You said there's okay.
Yes, everything is heart shaped.
Well, this is sweet and all. As I'm walking over to the door, I'm saying this. But if you really wanted to romance me and the sweet talk me, the way to do that would be to open this path straight to your heart, dear Shambler. That would be convenient.
I'm
and
sorry.
yes, I would like to make a charm roll against the haunted house.
I'm sorry.
Make a charm roll against the haunted
Did
house.
you just Cyclops Dracula the Shambler?
What the
No,
fuck
I
did you
didn't
just
tell
say?
it to follow its heart.
So-
I told him to open up his heart to me specifically.
There is a comic X-Men storyline called Curse of the Mutants, where Dracula is a prominent character, one of the main ones, and part of the whole resolution is Cyclops literally telling Dracula to follow his heart.
Again, it's not quite something that applies here, but it is very
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a charm roll.
Yes. Yay. This can only end poorly, but I'm gonna try it anyway, especially because I don't have the dagger. Extreme success.
You feel particularly charming as you open the door and stare into a familiar stable.
I didn't realize your hut was my home.
And in this stable, you see a yellow horse that is just staring at you.
Yes, well, I know you know more about what's going on than me. That's not the question. I'm gonna go over. It's the stable as roughly as I know it.
Yeah.
Go over, grab a brush off the wall. Damage. See if, as I do that, as I sort of brush the horse down, this horse seems like the kind of invulnerable we're looking for.
So you go and you begin to brush and work the thing, and you have every intention of like testing this, but as you get the brush and you start brushing, you fall into that rhythm of just taking care of the horse, and you're just you sort of the thought of hunting for the heart of this building sort of leaves your brain, and you're just
right.
No, you need to take care of this horse. This horse needs to be taken care of and groomed and kept, and the horseshoes need to be cleaned and picked out, and the teeth need to be brushed, and you need to prepare some hay and prepare some water, and you just sort of immediately, as soon as you grab that brush and start going about, fall into that routine.
Okay.
So the rest of you see a ladder, presumably start to climb down.
Yeah.
Who's going first?
Harold, probably, because he was the one who opened it.
All right. Harold, you climb down.
Oh, not how I thought that was going to go.
You climb down into another familiar site.
Okay.
You don't remember the ladder connecting directly to the bordello, but it connects directly to the bordello now. As you step out into this very... it is this gaudy now to your mind. Not then. To then it was exotic and French. Now it's gaudy.
I was like 18. So.
Red velvet festooned bar area where there's a wall filled with bottles of all manner of drinks, mostly French. There is this shadow of a person tending bar. It's like if you see just somebody's shadow on a wall, it's just that, and you can sort of like draw the line from that back to where the body should be, but all you're seeing is just the silhouette.
Okay.
As they are just sort of moving around tending bar, and instantly you know who this is. This is Jean-Luc, the only male that worked at this bar, the only guy that worked in this place, and who was specifically just a bartender / bouncer. Jean-Luc was a massive dark-skinned Frenchman. This like the kind of guy that looked like he could lift a car by himself, you know.
Okay.
And the gentlest soul you ever met, unless you started harassing any of the ladies that worked at the bordello, at which point he would throw you through a wall. He wasn't picky about which one. But you instantly know this silhouette of this massive Frenchman, and just in your mind you can sort of see him there tending bar.
Okay. Is the ladder still there behind me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna keep a hand on it while everybody else is coming down, so it doesn't disappear on us.
So Doris, you come down the ladder and end up in the same thing. You can
I
also
see the same thing.
You can see the shadow. You don't get any images to your mind. You just see the shadow tending bar.
Okay.
And Jahan, same thing as you get down.
Mm-hmm. Wow. This is...
Harold, what was the name of this bordello? Because you remember it well.
La Chouette Confit.
That is on the wall.
Right.
And as the three of you come to terms with the fact that you are standing in a bar manned by a shadow, and America, you're grooming a horse, that's where we're going to end for this week.
Woof. Okay.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Where's my mouse? There it is. Goodbye.